And good afternoon, everyone. All about the gyro here. Greetings to you from Nashville. And I want to get this video out a little bit earlier than intended just because I'm doing that thing called life. So, yesterday I was supposed to stream GT3. Unfortunately, just physically, I hit the wall. So, my apologies about that. But we made up for it today. And so I wanted to go through Uh, and I'm going to try to do this on a weekly basis, a recap of the week, and then set up the following week. So here you are again, our rating killing analysis document. And for this week, for those who have watched the videos, you have already seen three of the results. So keep that in mind. Now we're going to talk about the other results that I've had this week. So this week, I have drove in 6 races, but I've done it in a variety of series. So we had the Spec Racing 4 Challenge, which was on Monday, GT3 with IMSA Sports Car, that was Tuesday. Then we had the Mazda event with the SynLab Production Car Challenge on Wednesday. And then today we did 2 additional SynLab events. And yes, we did do a Skippy race. So, up to today, I had been doing very well. We had a fourth in Spec Racing Ford, we had a third in GT3, and we had a eighth place after starting seventh in the production car challenge. That had a field of 23 in it. We were doing really well. Then the first race today hit, and it stunk. So, did the first race today, 21 people in the field. I went and had the 14 car qualified eighth and was running in sixth for most of the race. I was like, you know what? We're going to be in good stead, and things are going to be happy. And at the bus stop, someone dive bombed me. They were never going to make the second part of the corner. And basically, they came back on unsafely, hit me in the left rear corner, completely wrecked my race. Loss 57 I rating. Um, Safety rating basically didn't take a hit, but I lost 57 in I rating and put in a protest. And basically, the stewards were like, well, we have this no fault system with 4X, blah, blah, blah. They basically chose not to do anything about it. I respect the stewards in iRacing. They do a thankless job. All I will simply say with that is, in real life, what that particular person did, they're getting at least a stop and go. They're getting some license points, penalty license points. They would not have been allowed to get away with it. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So, the key thing is I did get something out of it. I only had 6 incidents. That was an improvement from the 11 that I took on Wednesday. So after getting a little bit mad and waiting for the cool down period, and there is a cool down period when you file a protest, I said, you know what, I need a change of pace. I need something fun. And so we did Lime Rock Park in the Skippies. Just gritted up, started 18th, raced our way to 9th. Only had 2 incident points. Ended up gaining 13 I rating. So a little bit of I rating, a good safety rating gain on that. Safety rating gain was zero point zero 0.08. I was very, very happy about that. And then the last one started 19th in a field of 30. Didn't have a good qualifying. Drove my way through the field for third. That's right, you heard it right. Third. Got 92 I rating and 0 incidents. It was practically the perfect race. And I got 0.13 on the safety rating as well. And so now that leads us to our spreadsheet. So the reference point here, and I didn't put it up in the header, and I should. I should have put that in the header. So let me fix that right now. So that's the base SR and I rating that I had starting this week. And remember, I had said I am very concerned about this week. Well, as you see in the blue typeface, safety rating basically is unchanged, but we went up 191 I rating. The reason is that third is 91 I rating. That was nice. As you see on our chart, we did not race at Oran Park. We did not race at Brands Hatch. Now, I did get Brands Hatch. I did get the Ferrari. I drove it around there about a dozen or so laps and realized this was not going to be a good decision. The fixed setup in Ferrari is definitely a bit understeery. And Brands is such a rolling road course. I realized this is not a good decision. That's why you see the cyan. That's a new color. That means I didn't race that week. I also, Oran Park, basically have had no practice. So, basically for this week, in terms of quote unquote official races, I'm going to take my gains and I'm going to say thank you and God bless America and start working on next week. So, week 2, we have 2 brand new places to come to grips with. The awesome Suzuka International, the full-blown circuit. The other one is the very technical Mid-Ohio with the chicane. That's the part where between turns 1 and the keyhole, there's an extra sequence in there to slow the cars down. As you see, Mid-Ohio lines up very nicely because once I deal with it in the Spec Racing Ford, the GT4 will be a low threshold, and the Ferrari GT3 is at Summit Point. I think those particular races, the Ferrari fix, are going to be incredibly well patroned. And it's going to be a lot easier to drive around there versus the Indy layout at Brands Hatch, where it doesn't take much to get the car sideways. If you get a chance, watch Dave Cam. He did a video, and even his own admission was in practice, the final corner, which I think is Clearways, but correct me if I'm wrong, he was breaking the car loose. So I think next week, GT3 at Suzuka, the SRF and GT4 at Mid-Ohio, and then GT3 at Summit Point. Now, looking at this now, in terms of difficulty, my gut feeling on this is that Suzuka will be similar to Monza. I did a fair bit of practice at Monza, got that third place, was over the moon with that effort. I think it's going to be a beast of a place to come with, just like Monza was. But we know we're in the right car. The Audi has been an absolute gem to deal with. So checking kind of the times and all that, just for the sake of completeness. The production car challenge is at Okayama. 40-minute race there. So they've gone from a 25-minute Daytona race, which was about 12 laps. Now it's a full 40-minute race. And the key thing I've noted is the Mazda only has 21% fuel. I'm expecting a pit stop. And it's early in the morning, so I'm expecting cool track temperatures. So you may see me do that. I also want to correct an error I said in the video. On the schedule, it's saying that the BMW 12.0 challenge is in the M4 GT4. And I said, oh, it's the M8. And then I said, no, it's the M4. Well, it's the M8. So you won't be seeing me in that. The Touring Car Challenge is at Laguna Seca. I have not driven this car enough to feel comfortable. Driving around Lime Rock, it's interesting. It's almost like they're trying to simulate torque steer. So I need to spend some time with that, and that is going to be hard with everything coming up because it looks like we are going to have a team for Bathurst 1000. We definitely have interest in the Petite Le Mans. And so that time compression is starting to become very real. So the TCR is kind of sliding away a little bit. The Ferrari GT is in just after 1 o'clock local time at Summit Point. For the Ferrari GT3, I'm looking forward to practicing and racing around there. Spec Racing 4 is at 9:15 in the morning. 15 laps. That's going to require even more care than Summit Point because of the rolling nature of that course. So I definitely still concur with this red mark at Mid Ohio chicane. And for GT4, it's definitely still yellow. It may be red as well. Looking over on the GT3 side, and I have my magic PDF that you guys know I talk about. For the sake of for completeness in the GT4 group, it's also 9:15 in the morning at Mid Ohio. So save times, nice parallelism. Now, a series that we didn't race in this week because it was at the Nordschleife. Next week, Advanced Mazda is at Summit Point in the afternoon, 25-minute race. I may compete in that. We'll see how it goes. With Bathurst coming up next week, I got to spend a lot of time in the Ford Mustang driving around Mount Panorama. There's a lot of practice coming. For the IMSA, we're at Suzuka early in the morning, 45%, 45 minutes. The fuel load is at 50%. So we have to see where that is in terms of pit stops or not. I do know from the Monza experience, it needed just over a gallon a lap. And if memory serves, Suzuka is just a tick longer and a tick more demanding on the fuel. But it's 45%. So we're going to have to see what the endurance is with that. Luckily, with a working crew chief will tell us what's going on. But that's early in the morning. And then checking everything else out, the endurance series this weekend is at Catalunya. Next weekend is at Brands Hatch. So that's the 3 hour, but early in the morning, 6:55 in the morning. And that's for the GT based stuff. So overall, a good first week. As you see here, we're up 191. And now we got to consolidate this position. So I already know, because I have been driving around Mid Ohio, that is going to be a very challenging road course for both the GT4 and Spec Racing 4. I think Summit Point is a little bit of a let off. I think you're going to see more people into that, which means you're going to have more splits. And then Suzuka, I mean, one of the great circuits, right? So much history in Suzuka. So that sums up the week 2 setup. So one last thing before I let you go. This weekend, I don't know if I'm going to stream Saturday or Sunday. Depends on what's happening with life and all that. So if you don't see me this weekend, don't be alarmed. Know that I am working very hard at this. This is not easy. It's hard. And I'm part of a team that's got a private league, and I've been invited to go race around at Spa. Haven't been around Spa until about half an hour ago. Oh, dear God. What a place to drive. So there's that. I have the Bathurst 1000 that I'm coming to grips with. So don't be surprised if next week the GT4 disappears from next week. Also, the production car challenge disappears. I'm going to focus probably on my two mains. Maybe do the Ferrari GT3 as something to fill in time. And don't be surprised if you see the V8 supercars, because Bathurst is 1 week from tomorrow. And the International Endurance Team, we have a threesome that's going to drive that as of right now. And looking forward to it. And then the Blue Shell Academy, the other group I'm part of, we are figuring out our endurance efforts as well. And then collectively, both of those groups are wanting, or at least talking about doing, Petit Le Mans. So don't be afraid. If you don't see me this weekend, just know that I am practicing and we're going to be in good stead. So that's about it from now. Hey there, Mo Jr. Good to see you. And anyway, stay tuned. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe. And if I don't see you this weekend, I'll see you on Monday for Spec Racing Ford Mondays from Mid Ohio. Take care, everybody.